Hello everybody, and welcome to Chapter 5 of Wheel Trouble's Let's Play Obduction. And left off, we had just gone to a strange new world. Let's go ahead and unlock this here so we can actually start pivoting. Right. We're just jumping right into things here. We'll kind of play catch up a little bit as we play along through all the walking. Alright, here we go. Let's knock this down so we can pivot this the rest of the way later. And where are we? I see a bug. I believe the bug sees me. His eyes are following me. That must mean we are on Captar. Rather pretty little cliff face here. Lots of fog. Failed seed attempts. Another bug. I wonder why Farley spent so much time here. Really odd. Holy cow. Don't get me wrong, I realize the bugs are the primary species for this planet, but I want to see the species that actually built this place. Okay, so this cart does me no good, and it's blocking my way. We'll have to get that moved. Alright, let's go ahead and get this red beam out of the way. Maybe there's something in here we can aim at it. No, but there is this handy map of Captar. We'll have to remember that for later. And so we have a seed pod thing here. Let's go ahead and activate this. We do have that blue beam that's on the trolley, so we'll go ahead and grab it. This will be interesting. And again, we do have to remember where in the world we left the cart. Last episode, we blew up some red boulders. Waiting for things to coalesce. This seed just does not want to go back home. There we go. And where are we? How handy, we are back on Hunrath, just as I'd hoped. Alright. Right into somebody's house. Awkward. Okay. Where did we leave this thing after blowing up the rocks? I think we left it in front of Farley's. Yes. Wonderful. Alright. And I'm guessing from the angle, we're going to have to turn this thing around. So let's go ahead and run back up to the scrapyard with it, get this spun around, and then we'll zip it to Captar and blast that red beam so that we can actually teleport through the walls. This thing needs some more horsepower. This is remarkably slow up this hill. And the boom. That really would take some getting used to. It's interesting that Farley said it was a tone, not a deafening roar, but it seems almost like a deafening roar as we pass through. Maybe they were used to it. Kind of a pretty view of the waterfall there. ahead and use the pivot here at Farley's, get back into town, and with any luck, we can actually use the tracks to get into the back area of that little house we were in. In case you were wondering, the reason I pedal back a little bit after switching things over is just to make sure my cart wasn't stuck on the switches. I've had a few instances where I'll flip the switch and then go forward and end up going the wrong way. It's rather frustrating. So it's easier just to go backwards just a couple of feet and then start going forward again just to ensure you're on the right path. It's like a Disney ride. Would you look at that? We can reach right through. Oh. And back to Captar. That transition was actually nice and fast. Let's go ahead and get this thing set. Back up a little more, because it's the nose of my vehicle. And there we go, little to the right, and boom. I've got to get me one of these. Now all we can do is go back to Hunrath and switch everything over. We may end up having to come in another way, we'll see. Let's pull on forward out of here. Please remember where we parked. Good, I can still use this, alright. Back to Captar we go. On the plus side, even though this room will be out of place at Captar, we have the map of Captar with us. That'll come in handy if we get lost while bouncing through the walls. Oh, all the pretty dots. I guess if you're a bunch of bugs, being stuck on a cliff face isn't the end of the world. Of course you can fly. But the civilization that built these, obviously stairs, gear systems, makes you wonder what that civilization was like. And there's no notes about the Villiers actually having met the Arai before. So, they probably weren't it. It does tend to make you wonder. Right. Okay. Bottomless chasm. That was an ominous sound. Rusted chains with bugs. This looks like something straight out of Final Fantasy. Okay, this gear is connected. Start the motor. Ah, they're propellers, I see. Alright, let's disengage the clutch here. And things are pumping. Now all that's left is to connect those pistons so that everything here on Captar has power going to it. This really is a feat of mechanical engineering. That's an interesting way to do a door. You couldn't get in until you did that. Oops, wrong button. We had to go here anyway. And down we go. It's a good thing we found this elevator. Since everything is a sphere, I'm hoping we're back towards where we started. Sure looks like it, doesn't it? Very interesting how the species that built all this used wind power to power everything rather than electricity. Rather nifty feat of engineering. And now that we have dropped that post, we can spin this the entire direction we need to get straight at the wall. From that map in the visitor center, we can assume what we're seeing outside of this dome must be Murray. Good, the gears are turning. With any luck, we should be able to just take a trolley straight to the center of town. Apparently, safety was not a concern. Perfect. That lower cart's out of the way. Now let's see what passageway that was blocking. Here's another section of nope, I would never do this in real life. That is a long way down. And we put the boards there. That doesn't seem to be something that the original architects would have done. Speaking of original architects, this must have been some sort of central hub. I wonder if they worshipped those bugs. They really... the architecture seems to reflect it. Another dome? That was a big creature. Takes up the entire rock face. I wonder how long it's been there. Into the belly of the beast, as it were. Okay, so we have a path going down that way, and this path is blocked. That doesn't do us any good, so let's just go to the obvious route. And into the wall. Here we go. Yeah, it's a wall. Oh, look, a visitor's bench. This place must have been stunning during its heyday. The banners hanging. The gear's actually shiny instead of being rusted in disrepair. I shouldn't crumb on its repair status, but... We'll have to remember this is here. There's no obvious reason to use it quite yet. Maybe it'll become apparent as we play through a little farther. I wonder what's with the different colored seed pods, if they end up being different bugs. That book only really had one listed. Well, this is handy. Well, let's see if we can move on. No, that's solid. Well, let's see where this goes. Kind of looks like little fireflies. So pretty. Hat tip to shimmering dewdrop there. If you haven't, you should go check out her channel. And let's see where we are. I see rock. I see a room. Let's go ahead and go up. I recognize this door. That must have been how they locked the vault. That's clever. Just put a giant boulder in the way. No one's going to get through there. What do we have here? Beautiful paintings of Kaptar. A harp. Seeds. Bedroom. That's cute. And what do we have here? More seeds, books. Let's get some reading in. Arai Larval Notes by CF. Takes about 3 to 5 days for a single Arai larvae to change colors after being moved to a new surface. Pulsing stops immediately upon removal from Kaptar, induced by the polyarchs. Cloning has been extremely easy, like potatoes easy. Organics: plant fiber, yellow. Bone, light yellow. Arai encrustment, green. Metals: gold, pink. Copper, red-orange. Titanium, orange. Silver, red. Aluminium, red-orange. Tech: Mofang Tech, magenta. Villian extrusions, near white. Stone, granite, Kaptar, teal blue. Sandstone, Hunrath, light blue. Soarstone, Mofang, deep purple. Shale, Murray, very light blue. Plus polyarch pods, always purple. To do, I'm curious about the effect of combining various base surface. Still a bit odd experimenting with the life forms. The light they emit is handy given our limited supply of diesel fuel. I'm not really sure I'm understanding her colors. Maybe that's how she's getting her paints. That's an interesting photo. She has the Ark of the Covenant. Why does Farley have the Ark of the Covenant? And what books do we have here? Spiritual successor to Mist. So of course they have the Mist book. Adventures in the Ages of Mist and Beyond. Cute. And what is this? Cerberus. Let's go check out the bedroom. After checking out this bunny. How cute. We got work to do. More reading. Hooray! $15,997 AH. The Villiers. I can't find the words. It's such a foreign life cycle. Or perhaps not. They launched themselves across expanses of space, preserved for eons, until at last their technological arcs can hone in and carry them to a new home. They have no connection with their predecessors, but in spite of this, perhaps because of this, they have amazing recollections of their history. Their stories are epic, reaching back through the eons. Unlike many of us who were abducted, they were abducted as a whole. Their scoop moved in an entire facility that was about to be annihilated. I have come to believe that they, perhaps more than any of us, have a deeper understanding of whatever this strange system is that we find ourselves in. 16,333 AH. I need to write this down. We buried Ji Un today. This place never really agreed with her. Kept to herself mostly, depressed and downcast. Anyway, I digress. I stayed after the brief words were spoken. I was the last to leave. I wandered to the dome, as I often do, and looked out at the undulating Saurian wilderness beyond the cell wall. Movement caught my eye. Now, on very rare occasions, we've seen Mofang scrambling about in the distance, but there have been fewer and fewer sightings over the years. But before me was a tall, haggard Mofang running desperately, almost directly toward me from one of the distant structures. It, I still can't tell the gender, got closer and closer. I thought it would see me and stop, or turn around, or be curious about the strange dome and our world inside it. But it continued running quickly, almost directly to my position. I was frozen in place with curiosity until my reflexes took over at the last moment, and I leapt out of the way. But rather than hit the dome and fall backward, or come through into Hunrath, the dome flashed its familiar tone and the Mofang vanished. I was stunned for a bit, but I retrieved my wits and stepped into the dome myself to quickly get to the other side. After getting through, I immediately turned around and saw the Mofang outside, on the other side of the dome, still running away from whatever it feared, but as if it had no sense of passing around the dome. As surprising as the event was, it did serve to settle a few things in my mind. I always wondered how no one on Earth noticed what had replaced this chunk of Arizona we have here. 16,772 AH. I've got to vent. Again, there are those who argue with me. Over and over, I demonstrate that in almost every case, whatever the process was that brought us here, it occurred at a pivotal moment. They tell their stories, and they still can't admit that the abduction saved each of us, all of us. What is it in human nature that grasps so strongly to the past that we blame our saviors for stealing it from us? Okay, just one more vent before bed. If each of us was individually saved from something, then maybe all of us were corporately saved from something larger. Can we really be sure what's left? And this, the arrivers come from various places and times. Sarah got here almost 15 years ago from the year 2055, and Uziel got here 2.5 years ago from 1942. What does that mean? Time here is shuffled and chaotic compared to Earth. What state is Earth in right now? When is Earth right now? 16,787 AH. It's 3:15 a.m., and I feel compelled to journal this craziness. After spending most of yesterday meditating with the Arai, and then most of this evening discussing the nature of these worlds with CW, I had just a sip of the infamous Hunrath Hooch and collapsed in my chair. Well, I just awoke from a dream. I'm not one who puts a lot of credibility in dreams, but maybe the Arai were able to move something in me to understand, or possibly... Because of the intense discussion, my subconscious mind was triggered to be able to sort out some logical connections. Or maybe it was the hooch. The dream. I was tending a garden, an immense garden, and it wasn't for food or flowers. It was just about the health of the garden. I kept working and working to control it, and contain it, and make it healthier, but the garden seemed to fight me at every turn, and after what seemed like days of work, I finally gave up in frustration, and as I stood there, doing nothing, the garden flourished before my eyes, growing and spreading in every direction, because, I realized, the system that the plants were based on was not about me shaping and controlling. The natural system of the plants is healthier when they are out of control, when they are free to spread and intermingle and cross-pollinate and mutate. Now, from a human point of view, that might not provide what I want. I get smaller fruit and smaller flowers and untidiness. But from the point of view of the plants, they grow stronger and much more resilient and resistant. The more they are scattered, the higher their odds of surviving. And now that I contemplate, I realize that even the individual plant's seeds may not appreciate the benefit of what's happening. They are torn far from their origins, forced into situations that seem extreme, possibly even destroyed by these new environments. But for the seeds that survive, the seeds that survive, now that's where the real growth, strength, and abundance comes from. It's so beautiful and terrifying. Beyond the beauty of it all is a system, and a structure that defies understanding. Okay, what if this is all a natural process? There are signs of something behind it all, but well-hidden signs. So, well, if I look at all of this, the cell, the tree, the water, the seeds, the hub, the health, even the abductions, well, there seems to be a grand system, or plan. The plan doesn't take me into account. It is unemotionally intent on the health of something much bigger. That may hurt my feelings, but well, what am I in the entire scheme of the universe? I have no idea what, if anything, might have put this process into motion, but that's irrelevant. Tomorrow I will talk with CW. Maybe he could be swayed from his battery plan. $17,145 AH. I really don't journal much. I came to write this down because I am distraught. As I contemplate the plan that I have set in motion, I realize I have become the destroyer of worlds. I sat down to write, to seek some cathartic tranquilization, and I realized the last thing I journaled was some esoterically beautiful philosophy about letting this garden grow. Not so reaffirming or calming. But nevertheless, here is my reasoning, because I must write this down. Simply, it's us or them. Complexity. If this is some kind of garden, and we're the plants or seeds or whatever, well, some of us have gotten together and decided that we're the better choice to survive. If the others have unilaterally decided that we all won't survive, I am more fit, damn it. This is not me. I want to be calm and garden, or ungarden, or grow, or... What gives one species the right to destroy another species? Who gets to choose? Do I just lay down and die because the more aggressive species thinks they're better, more powerful? What brutal scale do I use to measure the good of some against the life of the others? Does love ever destroy, in order to help more survive? To help love itself survive? Does that even make sense? Can I kill because I think that it will bring about more love? What if I'm not even capable of understanding the situation? Of hate versus love? Maybe I'm the hater. Do I generate this love delusion to help me maintain my sanity in light of the choice that I have made? My God, it's too much. If these are just my walls of delusion, then I choose to live within them. I am a seed, scattered by the wind, but I will not simply be trampled. I will kick and scream and survive. May God have mercy on my soul. Well, there's really no following that. We'll see you guys next time. Wheel Trouble out.